Hi there, my name's Brittany and I have multiple sclerosis.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Brittany Talks, the place where we talk about anything and everything.
Today I would like to talk about my medication Tecfidera, my disease-modifying therapy that I got to postpone the progression of my multiple sclerosis, and my experience with it. In March 2023, I was diagnosed with clinically isolated syndrome because I was experiencing a relapse. I had the Lermit sign. That's when you put your chin to your chest and you feel like there's an electrocuting sensation down your back, down to like the soles of your feet. And I got the official diagnosis of multiple sclerosis when I had my second relapse in October 2023. And I had my second relapse because I was not on a disease-modifying therapy. The doctors didn't really seem to explain to me why it was very important to start one, so I just decided not to take it, which was very stupid. My second relapse caused my left leg to go numb, also part of my genitals, and it caused me to have speech problems, like stuttering and mixing up letters. I also had really bad brain fog and, well, balance issues. Having a second relapse that close to the first one, it really scared me. So I decided to start my medication. And thank God I did, because having my multiple sclerosis progress at that rate, it would have been very scary and it would have ended very badly. Personally, I didn't feel like I really had a choice in what medication I was getting, because if I could have chosen, I would have instantly went on a high efficiency DMT. Like, I understand that if a low efficiency one works, it's great. A lot of people in the MS Society say your multiple sclerosis is harmless until it isn't. And I agree on that. I think that going forward with a high efficiency DMT from the start is the smartest thing that you can do, because it's really important, especially in the start of like the first 10 or 15 years of the disease progression, to make sure that your disease progresses as little as possible. What Tecfidera is supposed to do is it's supposed to lower your white blood cell count, and it's supposed to lower the inflammation in your body, which is causing the damage to your myelin sheets of your cells, right? Now, for me personally, it just didn't work. I got an MRI scan 6 months following taking the medication, and I had new lesions. So, yeah, sadly, it didn't work for me. Now, what they warned me about before I started Tecfidera was that I'm gonna probably have a very upset stomach. It could be that I have diarrhea or I might throw up. They mentioned the flushing. Like, apparently you're supposed to get like really red skin sometimes. And in the first like 5 or 6 months, I had no issues whatsoever, like at all. I I just did exactly what the doctor told me. I took my medication to like really rich and protein rich and fatty foods, because that's what you have to do. You need to eat protein rich and fatty foods to even take it, or else you might, yeah, you might throw up or get diarrhea, because it obviously upsets your stomach if you just take it on an empty stomach. I would not recommend doing that. Some people I've read do that, but I've tried that before, or I tried just taking a spoon of oil with it, as some people do, and no. Like, it just ended up in diarrhea. It was really bad. But besides that, I actually didn't really have any other side effects, like, at all. It was actually pretty nice. I was like, oh wow, it's very side effect free. Well, again, until like 5 months in, that's when the flushing started happening. And they warned me about that in the hospital. They said like, hey, if you ever start getting like a rash on your skin or something out of the blue, don't panic. You're gonna feel really, really hot, like you're burning like fire. Don't panic. Don't come to the ER unless you think it's an emergency. Because it's not. It's just you flushing from the medication. And I couldn't even imagine like what that was or what I was supposed to expect until it happened. I was sitting at my PC, like right here, and all of a sudden I can feel myself getting like really, really hot. And I was like, okay, what's happening? So I look into the mirror that I have on my desk, and I see that I have like red skin all over my neck, and I get like red patches on my face too. And I was thinking, like, did I eat something that I was not supposed to? Like, I don't have any allergies, so I was really weirded out by that. And then I felt like a burning sensation on my skin, and I realized, oh, so that's the flushing they were talking about. And I just kept in the back of my mind, like, you know, if I can still breathe normally. I would say from the moment on you notice that you can't really breathe normally, that's probably allergic reaction, right? But that didn't happen, so I was like, oh, okay, it's flushing. And yeah, and then since then it would regularly start happening. Not every single day, but it would start happening like every other day. I had another incident where I was started flushing just randomly 4 hours after I took it. I was actually getting an MRI scan done, and I was in the MRI machine, and I was laying there, and I thought, why does my skin feel like it's burning? And I thought it was the MRI or something. I couldn't figure why it felt like that. And when I got out, I saw, oh, I have my skin's flushing again. So yeah, I think one of the downsides is it can happen at random times when it just really doesn't fit. And then people will start asking you, like, what's up with you or what's wrong or why you look that way. I think that's maybe the most annoying part about it. Another thing that I would like to talk about is alcohol consumption. I asked my neurologist if I'm able to drink alcohol with this, and he didn't really give me like a serious answer. He just kind of said, like, yeah, sure, you can. That's all he said. On the internet, all I could find was that you're not supposed to consume alcohol within that hour of taking Tecfidera. Well, the thing was, you know, if you're out partying or whatever, or you're maybe drinking with friends, you know, maybe 3 hours into drinking, all of a sudden you need to take your medication. First off, just to have just said, do never, ever, ever skip your DMT for whatever reason, okay? You're supposed to take it, but the thing is, I took it and then I kept drinking and I horribly threw up. I threw up a lot. And it happened twice. So that was a pretty big downside of taking the medication. And another thing that I noticed with alcohol and Tecfidera was all of a sudden I started having massive blackouts. I've never had a blackout before. I actually even thought that they don't exist. I thought that those were just excuses or lies from other people because I've never had a blackout before when drinking. And then once I started my medication, I had my first blackout. I woke up and I didn't know how I got here. I didn't know what happened the day before. And I had no idea why things are the way they are. I had no idea. And I was very, very confused. And that happened every single time that I drank alcohol while I was on that medication. So yeah, that's a big, big downside. I don't know if that would affect someone else in the same way, but it affected me in that way. And yeah, it wasn't fun. That's for sure. Another thing that I started noticing after 5 months of taking it was that I had more frequent like stomach upsets and problems, and all of a sudden I started having like gastritis and stuff as well. But I also at the same time was eating pretty unhealthy, so I think that kind of interacted with each other. So if you take Tecfidera, I would say that a light and well-balanced healthy meal is really important, which is kind of hard to do because, again, if you take Tecfidera, I really recommend you to take your medication with something like really greasy and protein rich, because if you don't, it's just gonna cause you to have diarrhea or throw up, honestly. Or at least that was my experience. Another downside for me about taking that medication was that I personally felt like taking 2 pills a day with food as well. It felt like my whole life was revolving around only taking pills the whole time. It felt like I didn't really do anything else but to concentrate on, oh, when do I have to take my next pills and what will I do until then? That's kind of what it felt like to me, and I really disliked that aspect about it. And another annoying thing was that maybe I had to eat something at 3 o'clock in the afternoon because I have to take my medication. So I already had something heavy and rich to eat. And then 3 hours later, everyone's having dinner, and now I have to go ahead and join them because I don't want to miss out on dinner, right? So it just kind of caused me to overeat all the time. And that was actually the most annoying thing about it, I think. If I had to go ahead and find any positives, I guess Tecfidera in the long run probably has less side effects, I'm guessing, right? And well, you can take it wherever you want, but personally, I still prefer doing one shot a month and then just forgetting about it until I have to do it again. This is what the packaging looks like. If you open it up, you can see that the days are marked on there and morning and evening. And this is the size of the capsule. The cheaper ones are bigger, but personally, I don't have an issue with swallowing capsules or pills, so I didn't really mind. But yeah, the more expensive ones are smaller. I wonder why, but I don't know. Oh, and another thing that's actually kind of funny when you swallow these, if you open them up, there's like little tiny balls inside, like really small ones. And when you swallow it, it feels like there's like a rattle going down your throat. So you can just feel like those balls like shaking down your throat. I don't know, I thought it was a funny sensation, honestly, so I didn't really mind it. And I got the cheaper version first, which is only called Dimethylfumarat. And weirdly enough, I kind of noticed that once I got the actual brand, Tecfidera, which costs, I think, a few €1,000 more than Dimethylfumarat, I felt like it worked better. I don't know, it's just my experience. But yeah, in the end, because I had disease activity, even though I was taking it for more than 6 months at that point, the doctors decided to switch to a high efficiency DMT. So now I'm on Kesimpta. I will make a separate video about Kesimpta and my experience with it once I've been on it for a few months. I would say that taking your DMT 1 hour before or later, like just shifting the time a bit, is really not a big deal. It really isn't. And my neurologist said that if I forget a dose and it's been hours and it's almost close to the second capsule, then just forget that and don't like take 2 at once. That's what he recommended to me. But yeah, one of the important things that you need to keep in the back of your mind is, first of all, do I have enough at home in case I'm going on vacation or something? Did I pack enough? And am I storing them right? They're not supposed to, like stay in the car or something and melt, or, get below freezing temperatures or whatever, because, well, yeah, then they're not as efficient anymore. And like I said, don't forget your medication if you go anywhere. I went ahead and I bought myself like a little medicine box. I have this one, which I kept at home, and it says day and night on there. And I kept my DMT in there with my other supplements that I take. And yeah, it pretty much, was good for never forgetting to take it. And I could always check, oh, did I already take it today? So this is really efficient. I would recommend getting one of these. And I also got like a little tiny tin box in case I go like to a restaurant or something. I don't want to carry something bigger with me. But if you're someone who's about to take Tecfidera and you're about to start your medication, I would recommend, indeed, like I said before, to take your medication always with something to eat. Some take a spoon of peanut butter, some take a spoon of oil, some eat a meal to it. And honestly, personally, I think eating a meal to it is the safest thing that you can do. It's just gotta be, a lot of protein and some fat. Personally, I had really good experiences with like Greek yogurt and stuff that usually worked really well for me, or just eating my lunch or dinner to it. If you're a person watching this multiple sclerosis, I hope that you stay as healthy as possible, and I hope that your progression is as mild as possible, and that Tecfidera works for you, or whatever DMT you're on. And to everyone else out there, stay healthy, stay happy, and be thankful.